Hey everybody, welcome back to the 23rd Annual MySpace Awards. Happy to have you. Today, we're going to be talking about Travis Barker and Scott Raynor. Two very different drummers. People ask me all the time, who do you think is better? Who do you think was the better fit for Blink? And who do you think is just a better drummer overall? And, they're so very different that it's really, I don't think it's fair to really compare them. I mean, Scott is criticized a lot for his, lack of creativity on the drums. But, he came from more of a punk and more of like a heavier rock and heavy metal kind of background. Like, I was reading some stuff earlier saying, some of his early stuff was, very influenced by Metallica. He was obviously doing, the punk thing. So I do appreciate the fact that he was always more of, your straight up just fast in your face drumming. And I think it definitely suited Blink during those early days. I think it matched what Mark and Tom were writing at the time. If Travis was with them in 1992 all the way to 98 or whatever, I couldn't even imagine them honestly working together and having an easy time. You know what I mean? I think the shift in drummers really came at the right time. And I don't know, it would just be very interesting. I mean, you also got to remember that Scott was very young when Blink started, and so were the other two guys, but I think Scott's like 2 years younger than Travis is, roughly. And so he started playing in Blink when he was 14. I mean, a 14-year-old playing some of that stuff, I mean, that's pretty impressive. And some people really forget how young these guys were when they were really starting out. And by the time he left the band, I believe he was around 19 or 20. And when Travis had joined the band, he was, already in his 20s at that point. I think when he joined in 1999, he was 24 or turning 24 that year or something like that. Or no, I think he joined technically in 98. I don't remember. But, Travis already had a little bit more under his belt. And Travis came from a pretty different background. I mean, as we obviously know, he's very big with, the hip-hop community, which is very, very rhythmic, very creative. And, he was also in the Aquabats, and if you're not familiar with the Aquabats, they're kind of like a ska punk kind of thing, and a lot of those ska bands, especially of the 90s, had very good drummers, very creative drummers, and that drumming style really brought a lot to the songs. So, I mean, they're just two very, very different guys, very different drummers, and like I said, I really think they were the right guys for the job at the time of the band. Travis obviously transformed Blink into seeming to be a lot more creative just based on those drum fills and just the overall, rhythmic patterns, when Mark and Tom are seemingly doing pretty simple stuff. It really made the whole songs, they really brought them up a tier. And with Scott, I mean, Scott, he was not very flashy, but he was pretty dead on. I mean, he was fast, and he never let up. I mean, I've never heard him sound sloppy really at all. I mean, But you know, he did his one thing and he did it well, and I think it's exactly what Blink needed at the time. And I mean, I'm glad he's not in the band anymore, because I do think that Travis was a bit of a saving grace for them. I really feel like he helped really open them up to, you know, bigger possibilities, I guess. And, you know, another thing I had no idea about, you know, I always just assumed that Scott had just, like, quit music, and I don't know why I thought that. It's not like if I left a band or I got kicked out of a band, I would just quit music. But I was reading that Scott has done some things since. He started a band where he was going to be playing guitar for the band, which I thought was interesting, but I guess the band... or something happened, like he left the band before it really took off. But I thought it would have been interesting to see what he could do for a guitar, but I never really checked to see if there's anything out there. And then it looked like he was doing like some charity work for troubled teens, like teaching them music and stuff. I thought that was really honorable. You know, I thought that was really cool. Definitely nothing that I knew before. And he's even doing stuff as recent as this year in a band called The Wraith. And they're absolutely not my thing at all, but I watched a couple videos, and yeah, it's undeniably Scott, and he's still got that, you know, hard-hitting, fast sound, which is cool. So, I don't know. I mean, I like them both for different reasons. I definitely prefer Travis. I mean, I like a flashy drummer. I always have. And... I don't know, just having someone creative for the rhythms can really change and, you know, make your very simple songwriting, you know, on guitar and bass sound more than it really is. You know, it really does make a huge difference having someone like that behind the kit. I've been hearing some people saying, you know, oh man, what if Tom had started, you know, another band with Scott or something, you know, what do you think would happen with that? And I think it would be interesting. I don't think it will ever happen, but it would be cool. I have no idea what the hell they would do, but I mean, in that sort of idea, I mean, I definitely prefer Tom working with Elon. I think Elon's just a really creative musician in general. You know, he's a very, very talented person. But it would be cool to see them playing with Scott again. I mean, it's definitely something that I don't think is too far-fetched to happen. I mean, I see bands doing it all the time, even if it's just for like a song here or there. But I mean, the way things are, I mean, it wouldn't really be, you know, as great if, you know, Scott went and played with them for a show or something now because Tom's not in the band. If it was the original three doing something together, then I think it would be cool. But, you know, unless Tom was back in it with them, I don't really see much of a point. So I don't know. Great drummers, very different drummers. And that's all I really got to say. So if you got any opinions on it, you know, obviously say them below. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. And I'll see you next time.